Hello, everyone. Chat should be much better this time. Go post this quick. I'll be starting up the music in 1 second here. Let's see. That should be good. All right. Now let's see. Do I have everything set up? I think I do. I hope I do. Ha! Alright, hopefully... Music seems a little loud. Turn it down a bit. Alright. Okay, hopefully I haven't wasted too much time here. Alright. Put all this in a small corner. And away we go. Welcome back, everybody, to Tulpaa. It's still a hellhole. That hasn't changed. What has changed since last time is... No, I did add these. Well, you saw me do this. I messed with the textures in here, and they came out pretty nice. Might still mess with them, as one does. Let's see. I did change something small, but I can't remember what it is now. Ah, yes, I added these here on these corners. Still not totally satisfied with them, but they look better. Oh, right, I added the fires to these altars. So that's the shiny new thing. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. I could jump into texturing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just start with texturing the stairs. Snow rock CBM. Alright, so no, I want this one. Here we go. This, and again, where do they put those? Alright. Go ahead and add the custom color. This and this. And then set this to black because it was probably shiny before. Just a good idea. Urban stairs. There's something I can do better here. Because I want to mix two textures together for these. Just not sure what. Well, they're 200 size, so let me go change that. Hello, Rayan. The latency should be much better today, in theory. Let's actually test that right now and save. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10! Okay, that's down from 24. Yeah, it is much better. Yeah, that's tolerable. I can live with that. Turns out I was set to quote-unquote normal, but you generally want low unless you're basically not streaming for anybody or interacting with people. Don't know why that was the default, but here we are. It's done. Oh, it was good to save anyway, because I'm about to mess with textures. I guess I could just go with... Let me see what looks like messy. Which one is this? Okay, so that's this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just set it to red, make something obviously different. Get the texturing going. How was your day so far? I mean, I guess it's a stream, so you don't really want to talk about, like, anything personal. But then again, you don't talk about personal stuff really to begin with. Rayon, the mouse of many secrets. Or is it Fox? I can't remember. Calling you Fox sounds weird, though. Rabbit, okay. You know, in Final Fantasy XIV, you can be a rabbit boy or a rabbit girl. Yes and no. It kind of depends on what parts mattered most to you. The original Viera feet were pretty cursed, and I'm not sorry to see them go, honestly. That's probably the main physical difference. Culturally, there's an argument to be made there, but Viera were kind of not really set up to be a part of the world to begin with, whereas other races were easier to integrate because the Keeper of the Moon cat, Mikote, cat girls or whatever, were kind of based on Viera to begin with, and so, but players wanted Viera so much that they added them anyway, and so now you've got two races that are kind of having the same culture, but they don't really do anything good with Keepers of the Moon anyway. They're pretty absent from the story, as are the Duskwights for that matter, but Duskwights pretty much only show up to get villainized. It's kind of bad, actually. Like, to the point where I've complained about this a lot in Final Fantasy circles, but you can use racial profiling to determine who the villain of a story is, because if you see a Duskwight, they're the villain. Like, even if it's like a surprise twist, the Duskwight's the villain. That's just how it is every time. But they appear so rarely that most people don't even pick up on it, because, like, it's not like, wow, all these Duskwights are villains. It's like, oh, hey, Grey Elf. Don't see very many of those. Oh, he's a villain. Okay. And I think there's, like, less than 100 Duskwite NPCs in the entire game for a race that's been in since 1.0, since before the Calamity or whatever. And there's less than 100 NPCs total that are counted as Duskwite, and many of them are not actually Duskwite, but just, like, non-playable races using the Duskwite model as, like, a skeleton base. So, yeah. It is a sore point for a lot of role players and people just following the lore. It's actually something they're arguably a bit tone deaf on, because the elementals are kind of written as villains, but they don't seem to realize that. And the Duskwights are big in opposition to the elementals, but they're like, oh no, the Duskwights were too proud to follow the elementals. But then when you look at what the elementals actually do, it's like, these are villains. These are not gods that are benevolent or anything. These are just straight up villains. Why would anyone in their right mind follow them? And so it just kind of makes it be like, well, the Duskwight are right. You should not follow the elementals. They're insane and evil. Not by intent, but they are. Ugh, I have opinions on this, in case it wasn't obvious. Anyway, I don't think the Viera are that bad. I mean, they didn't keep, they got the whole culture black hole thing going on, but they're not the only race to have that issue. That's for sure. So, I can't fuss about it too much. Now I need to figure out what I want to do with this and save. For you, though, what does it mean they ruined Viera? Because egregious. Like, in what way? Maybe it's just as simple as just making this more red. Do you mean like they're more common in the world as opposed to like hiding in the forest? Because they still do that in Final Fantasy 14. It's just that they're a player race, so now they're everywhere. You're gonna be need to be more specific. Oh, don't crash. Thank you. Ah, yeah. Well, humanizing races is kind of something Final Fantasy 14 does as an aesthetic, for better or worse. Yeah, because the original, well, most of the races in Final Fantasy 14 are based on Final Fantasy 11 races, but more human-like, for better or worse. Um, Arguably for worse. I don't know. It's kind of a subjective thing, but I like the way this is turning out. By the way, these look like stairs and simultaneously like bricks. Should probably set them to the same color though. There we go. All right. So this one's gonna be 90. No, I mean they did. I mean I did not like the Vera feet they had before because they weren't even furry. They were just weird. Um, I guess they got rid of the nails, and that's kind of sad. But the fingernails, anyway. I will not budge on the whole original Vera feet were pretty cursed thing. You will never get me missing those. Save. But this is a nice blend. I like this. Oh, let me change the volume. This might be a bit loud. Well, maybe. I think what bothered me most about the Viera feet in 12, which I guess is also tactics, is that they didn't really look like they could function without some really crazy heels. Like, and that just weirded me out. Like, it looked like their feet had to have heels on just to work, and that just kind of weirds me out. Like, I don't know. I feel like body parts should look like they can function without specific armors. At least if, especially if it's like supposed to be a race that's sort of naturalistic to begin with. creeped me out. Am I using the wrong one? I think I am. Yes, I was. On the other hand, I get that they look a little too human-like, but I don't mind it that much. At least they get pretty cool skin colors. Well, the Rava ones do, which seem to be closer to the tactics ones. They get the darkest skin color in the game, which is like just a complete pitch black, which is kind of cool, actually. Actually, no, Rogadin can get it too, but it's not as well known and kind of rarely used. Actually, no, I think the Rava one is even darker. Maybe I'll go full clickbait and call this video Final Fantasy Bunny Girl Rant. That'll definitely bring in the views. They do sort of set up both the Vina and the Rava tribes of Viera as being fierce, but they aren't seen super often. Which is kind of whatever. It's not something unique to them. Alright, there we go. Now this one. The Golmore Jungle is in 14 though, but it only really exists as like a raid. And even then, not really. It's just more like you just happen to be there. Well, I mean, you're there for a reason, but like you're passing through it. You're not really, and you don't even see the Viera while you're doing it. The Damascus stuff is Final Fantasy 14 has an issue where they will do a reference to an older game, but then the reference is a little skin deep. Like, it's like, here's Dalmasca. It's been ruined by the Imperials. Let's fight some things in it and then move on. It's like, oh, well, we're never doing anything with it. It's like, oh yeah, we have all these races from Final Fantasy 12 and Tactics, but they're never going to matter again, even though you would assume because they exist in this universe now, they're going to matter, but they don't. And it's just like, oh, okay. Great. Which reference lore is kind of lame in general. I don't really like it when things are just a reference to something because, like, well, in WoW it means that, like, the lore of something comes down to basically just uh, this character acts this way because they the character they're named after from the movie they were in did as well. It's like Arnoldson makes a bunch of Terminator quotes because he's a Terminator reference, and that's the start and end of his character. There's no real depth or reason or backstory or history or anything, and it's just like, yeah, great, and it's just very shallow lore. Final Fantasy 14 does that too, but they do it with like older games, and sometimes they go back and they do expand on things. In fairness, but often the first iteration of something is very shallow. And sometimes they don't really go back to them either. And that's just kind of like, okay, fine. The start and end is because they acted this way in the other game. But at least in the case of the other game, it's like you can headcanon that it's sort of relevant to the same setting, even though it's a different game. The Dalmasca, Rabanaster, Vieira, Banga, and all that stuff is kind of in that camp. Like, to some extent, Tactics and 12 will inform how Vieira are more than 14 itself. Which, I mean, it's not... At least you can play a game where they're the focus of it, so... You get some fun headcanon out of that, I guess. But it's still a little disappointing. It's better than, oh yeah, if you want to know more, you have to go watch this movie from the 90s. So, great, thanks. Which is the WoW way of doing it. One thing I am not looking forward to this map is, like, once I finish texturing, what I'm going to do about the props and dead spaces, like here, here. Maybe I just needed, like, texture in some patterns. I don't know. Partly I'm just doing these stairs because I know what I want to do with them. It's just simple texturing. Oh. That's probably good. I don't know if I want stairs here. It probably would make sense to put stairs there, but I'll get to it later. Or now, perhaps. Huh. That lighting really does something on the side stairs, doesn't it? Good grief. Like, these blend almost seamlessly like this, but you put them on a horizontal and they come out kind of fucked up. Great. I don't love that. At least I'm good at texturing enough that this looks random, but and not square or gridded, but yeah, that's pretty good argument for not doing it here, I guess. Doing some other pattern, I suppose. Then again, I guess it makes sense to do it there. Wait a minute. Does this actually make a difference? I guess I could try like this. Oh, no, that's way too reflective. No, sir. Hmm. Vera, were there any male Vera in the tactics games, actually? I have no idea. I don't think there were. There were enough NPCs or enough characters that there could have, but okay. Yeah. They have them in 14, but they're pretty rare. Understandably. They are much, much smaller than the females. A max height male Vera does not even come up to my elf, who is like less than half the height slider or whatever. They are very small. They run like Waluigi too, which I find amusing. I went too far on this one. I may have gone a little too far in some places. Well, time to regret this. Save. Watch this video be the one that blows up because I talked about Vieira so much. Everyone comes in to give me their opinion, tell me why I'm wrong or what is actually the problem with Vieira. Leave a comment if you think Vieira should have hats. That's an easy bait, I guess you could call it. Autosave. Oh well. I wonder if you still need Shadowbringers to play Vieira. I can't remember. You might, because Aura we're adding the Heavensward, and now Heavensward is free, so maybe that's why Aura are a free race. And maybe Vieira aren't? I don't know. They are still relatively low on the number of characters made scale, and the fact that they aren't a free inclusion could be a part of that, because it means all the free trial players can't have them. And granted, free trial players don't stick around that long most of the time because that's true of any MMO. The people that get to like level 10 and quit make up a pretty sizable portion of any player base, but also all of the bots are male heroes. So there is one player I've seen a picture of who has finished all of the legendary content, like the really hard ultimate trials or whatever. They have successfully cleared all of them and have like all the stuff in their profile or whatever showing it, but they have purposely made their character look like the default male cure with the beginning game beginning marauder weapon because all most bots they used to be multiracial, but now they're all male here. But they're always marauders because marauders have fastest access to the place where they want to advertise buy Gil or whatever. So he stands around in the main city where they would advertise looking like a bot when he's actually like a triple legend. It's just like that's so amazing that you would like clear all the hardest content in the game and then choose to look like a level 1 default bot. And then just stand around. I think it's pretty funny. I don't know if you can really do it in WoW though, because like the moment you create a level 1 character, uh, you put on your what's it called? It would be kind of funny to be like a legendary player and then glam your or transmog yourself as like what's it called gear? The heirloom gear that everyone wears while leveling. That would be kind of amusing. Heirloom gear? No, there's no way they got rid of it. There'd be such an outrage if they got rid of heirloom gear. Because players put so much gold into that it's now like a form of collection and everything. It'd be like removing toys or something, or mounts. They did remove the XP bonus and just kind of made XP faster level in general. But they still scale with your level, and are pretty strong, which is very convenient. And they provide other bonuses too, so you kind of want to equip them no matter what. Unless you're going for like a whatever kind of run without them or something. Yeah, but that was years ago. They made it so that they don't give bonus XP and then just... Let's see. How much do I hate this? Try this for this one too. It's not bad. I can't even see it here, which probably means it's pretty good. Oh, let me change the song. What do you mean, not everything? Save. Oh, I mean, it was kind of impossible because some of them were limited time events. Like, I have one of the Warlords of Draenor ones, but not all of them. I have the healer one specifically, but as much as I like healing in Final Fantasy XIV, I cannot imagine healing in WoW. That just seems like the worst experience possible. It's like, it's gotta be like playing League of Legends or something. You just kind of have to be able to completely disengage from everybody just to get by. Ugh. Like Final Fantasy XIV content, with like one dungeon exception that everyone is like, that's like famous, and in low levels, ironically, from the original Realm Reborn, every dungeon is basically set. No, maybe two, but they're optional dungeons and they're kind of famous for being hard. Realm Reborn dungeons, but every dungeon is basically set up so that if the tank can pull it, you can heal through it as long as the tank actually uses their cooldowns. So, whereas in WoW, it's like, oh, you just don't have enough gear. Guess everybody wipes, and now because WoW is like that, they'll just kick you. Ugh. Like, gear matters in Final Fantasy XIV to an extent, but often it's just kind of skill more than anything. Like, there's a cap on how much gear will help you with any given activity. Let me figure out what to do with these. Actually, I have an idea. Hey, LeMayo. What the hell just happened there? Huh. Alright. Flip this upside down. No. It's a long save. Huh. This is probably not going to work. Ugh. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do, but... Interesting. I almost like how that looks in this lighting. Let me show what this map looks like without the nature setting. Because it's kind of wild how much the nature settings are shifting this map's aesthetic. Bam. Look at how cursed that is. Forest is still pretty orange though. Actually, you know what? I could probably change the size of this since it doesn't even line up. Ooh. Daddy likey. I mean, what? Ooh. I like that, I think. Let's try this. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I'll save that. Oh, I really don't know what to do with these open space, the sides really. Open spaces I can do patterns, and I maybe will take some time off to try to draw some patterns and figure out what I like. But I guess I can just do these guys on the sides. It's not super creative, but I guess it works. Let's try that. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Sure, why not? What the hell? No. Ah, come on. This almost sounds like a Black Temple. Can you actually hear the music? I have it turned down pretty low, but I wasn't sure. Saving. Could maybe turn the music up. I'm actually not sure how much is actually being caught. Oh, no, that's my voice talking. And oh yeah, it's basically silent. Let's try that. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Still pretty quiet, but not too quiet, I hope. Yeah. This music was composed by Russell Brower, who composed a significant portion of Warcraft's music. Until they just kind of said, hey, we'll contact you when we want you to do the next expansion, and then never called him. After like 15 years of working together. He didn't take that well. For a time on his Twitter, he went full friendship ended with Blizzard. I can't say I really blame him. I'd be kind of upset about that too. Ooh, this is a fun song. Druids of the Flame. Also by Russell Brower. Afraid nothing's dramatic. Nothing dramatic enough is happening on screen for this, unfortunately. Should just sneak this into the volcanic playlist for EAW. And that's like the most fun part of the Firelands music. Save, save, save. Although you know that music doesn't actually play for Ragnaros, I don't think. It plays for the Druids of Flame, I'm pretty sure. At least I think so. It's written for them anyway. But it's the most memorable part of the Firelands music. Well, I got the borders for the most part. I guess, barring any inspiration, that doesn't seem to be forthcoming. Maybe just more of them here? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not obvious, but WoW does have a thing where like it plays music based on whether or not a boss is pulled. At least as of the last vanilla raid. I forget what it was called. Naxxramas. As of Naxxramas, that was a thing. Maybe Encourage. I can't remember. Oh, I forgot stairs. Okay. Ugh, come on. It's weird. The other day, I was thinking of trying WoW, but like, I couldn't think of a thing I wanted to do in the game. It just lost so much interest for me. But then I suddenly had like a very cursed desire to actually do something in WoW, and it was actually archaeology. Because I just really wanted to walk around the world and explore things while working on a very casual task. I mean, I was already on a role-playing server. I was on Wormrest Accord. Oh, I forgot I did that. Neat. No. I used to be in a Alliance archaeology guild, and they were fun, but they kind of died because Wormrest Accord's Alliance couldn't survive. Despite the fact that, like, okay, so Wormrest Accord, people are like, oh, it's the Horde server, but, like, by tradition, Wormrest Accord was, like, 55% Horde, 45% Alliance. It was actually balanced. But after BFA and other stuff happened, like, it went to some, it's, the Alliance there is basically dead. People just kind of gave up on it. And anyway, I'd prefer to do that stuff alone anyway, for the most part. It's just kind of, it's not something I'd want to roleplay so much as just walk around and enjoy the world by myself. Look at things. It is, but it doesn't help that the story was so horribly written. I mean, they flip-flop. Like, Battle for Azeroth was a huge whiplash from Legion. Oh my god, BFA was such a mess. Of course it was going to be bad. But Smatic was kind of fun, but like in a sense, we should have something people should have seen coming after how Viking Zone was, because like that had faction conflict as well. But if you think about how it started, it was basically, well, in the Horde one, they talk about like preparing for war or whatever. You get on the thing, then you get a cinematic of an airship shooting at a boat, and then you're at war. And in the Alliance one, you get on the airship, and then it immediately cuts to the cinematic. And so it's even more jarring than the Horde one. And like there's just no setup at all. It's just like, oh yeah, I guess we're fighting. Okay. Like there's no, there's the Alliance, or there's the Horde, fire. It's just, here is an airship shooting after you talk to this person after stepping onto an airship. Like, it's just the most jarring thing. Just no setup or explanation. It's just, oh, I guess we're fighting now. That's the end of that playlist. And that one. And that one. I guess I can go another 12 minutes. Maybe 22. This looks nice. I hate these stairs. Whatever. I guess I can put these things along the edges. I actually liked Cataclysm. Made faults, but did some nice stuff for the world as well. I think it might have been the last time that WoW really had continuity, kind of, to an extent. Because Miss Pandaria was interesting, but it was definitely its own thing. And after that, I'm not sure any expansion really brought back anything that pre-existed without completely rewriting it. Maybe parts of Warlords of Draenor. But after that, I'm not sure I could even say WoW has continuity. Ooh, I got the exact amount. Nice. Hey, yo! Alright. There we go. Alright, well. Actually, that does look pretty good. I don't regret it. Yeah, I think I'll just need to come up with some patterns to draw in the texture in the ground here, maybe. You know, I might have to like start looking up some like ancient civilization patterns or something, and then take out my drawing pad and draw something. Oh. For the most part, I'm pretty happy with this. I should probably put something to block here. There. And then slide these little guys. I like that I included these because like I never used them before because they were always too small. But I'm happy to have them here. They add a nice little sprinkle of weirdness on a small scale. Alright. Also, you know what? The Anduin's whole healing thing in Battle for Azeroth trailer was stupid because he's basically a paladin. Or actually, no, he's a priest, but Blizzard, if you look at all like who the human leaders of or the main leaders of the Alliance have been throughout Warcraft, they all basically look exactly the same. Usually blonde, usually have a sword, always in armor except for Jaina. And yeah, I mean there's definitely and always white. There's definitely and usually male except for Jaina. Like Jaina's like the one exception to like most of these rules. Um, yeah. So it's like, well, why does Anduin have armor if he's a priest? And the answer is because he has to fit some stupid rule they made up, where they all look like Turellian. Also, the healing ability he uses is healer limit break 3 from World of Warcraft from Final Fantasy. It's just straight up the healer level 3 limit break. And when I figured that out, I was like, oh, god damn it. Which is actually very much like the two games now that I think about it. Like, I don't think so. I think it's dumb. I'm not a fan of that kind of armor. It's overdone. But it for me, it was also kind of like a highlight of something typical of WoW and Final Fantasy, where it's like WoW makes a cool cinematic where an NPC does something cool, but your character can never do it. Whereas Final Fantasy is like, oh, there's no cinematic of it or anything, but your character can do it. And it's just very much the difference of NPCs versus players. Well, it's almost over. Hello, NMS. I'm probably going to stop here. Well, not quite. I want to finish this bit here, but I should probably expand it, actually. It's okay. I'll link it to you. I'll tag you in it, in fact. There we go. NMS, I don't think I have asked you this, but what is your favorite sci-fi planet? And why? Oh, that looks good. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. I too like Arrakis. Ah, crap, I gotta do these. There we go. Once I finish this, I think I'll stop for now. One of the main holdups is I gotta figure out how I want to texture these things. And I want to do more than just the regular scrapped stonework. Because of the music? I didn't really like it that much, but I did really enjoy the music. I used to listen to that on loop. Yeah. Silithus music. Enjoy. From Cataclysm, actually. I think. For fuck's sake, why can't I grab this? There we go. I do like the more eerie music of WoW at times. Probably why I like Malhada's music. Okay. I probably want some sticking out. Ooh, yeah. Have you listened to the Marsh music? I think it's written by the same guy. The Cataclysm Marsh music. I think it's written by the same guy, and he gives it a quirky name that's a reference to a soggy place. And it sounds very similar to it. It's not a swampy place, but it is something like that. And he uses it, and he names it that, I think. Honestly, a lot of the Cataclysm music is pretty good. TBC as well. Like, these were both expansions where they did a lot to expand just the music of the open world in old zones, which is very nice. These trees sunk into the ground slightly. There we go. Now do the height map, or passability rather. Reset the AI data. And save. Alright. I could keep going, but I can't really think of anything I really want to do here. Make that a little taller, I guess. Tink, tink. I don't really love that I've left this open. Maybe I need to put spikes into the water. I don't love that, but it might be better visually clear for being like, no, you can't go this way around. I don't know. It's not my favorite thing to do it like this. Oh, hang on. Raising that up. Down. There we go. Not my favorite thing, but I think the visual clarity is important enough. Frick. Frick. Alright. Let's do the same over here. Autosave, why? Alright. I guess I theoretically could put spikes all around the outside, but ugh. No thanks. these together. Rotate this one around. Probably make this the last thing I do. Oh, too far. Stop there. All right. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stop in a minute or less, maybe. Yeah, this is a good enough place to stop. Alright. Thank you for watching. Good night, good evening, good morning, goodbye.